Yeah.
Right.
Good morning, everybody. Well, welcome again to another wonderful edition of the Practice Gratitude Success Show. And today I've got two amazing co-hosts today. I've got a returning host. Well, first of all, before I do that, let me just say good morning to all the people who are here today. Welcome Len. Welcome Craig. What people are popping in right now as we speak here. But I have two people who are. One lady who was here was it last week? Teri, you were here? Or was it the week before?
Yes, last week.
Last week, yeah. So Teri Miller, no relation to me, to Bob Miller, but she's the author of this book, Hugs Love, which I'm reading, and another one called Time Healing. Is that what it's called?
Time Heals.
Time Heals.
And then her friend Rosanne is here. Now Rosanne is also an author. She's written. I think you wrote a book as well, Rosanne. Did you not?
Teri and I co-authored Time Heals together.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Awesome,
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
And so
There's Time Heals.
Okay, there it is. There's
Yes,
the Time Heals. I'll get that one after I read this one here. But they're both into angel healing, angel cards, Reiki. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they do. And I was just talking to them beforehand. If I read the introduction of the things that they do, we'll be out of time. So, anyways, ladies, thank you so much for coming here today. I really appreciate your time today. And I know this time is going to go by real quick, so they promise that they will come back in April. We'll do another show. So welcome, Teri, and welcome so much, Rosanne.
Thank you
Bob.
so much for having us.
So let's start off with you, Rosanne. Let's start off with you. How do you two know each other?
Well, we met on Facebook.
Okay.
We've never met in person, but we just clicked and knew right away that we were part of each other's soul tribe or soul family. And in a very short time, we knew that it was meant for us to somehow work together. And
how did you guys co-author a book together if you never met? I mean, how did you guys do that?
It was fun.
It was fun, but it was Facebook chats, emails, phone calls, bouncing ideas and off of each other. And you know, we were definitely spiritually guided to write the words that were written. So it was pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, it was. It flowed. You know, once we decided this is what we were to do, we just each wrote. And I've talked to people that said they can't tell a difference in who was writing what. I mean, that's how much spirit was involved in it to just make it flow in that way. It was awesome.
That's really pretty cool. I mean, this whole thing about your whole community of people, healers and people who are into angel healing and that sort of stuff. As you go along, I know you're finding more and more people as you go along because Teri, you're introducing me to people right now that just like people are just being attracted to you. They're just coming to you. Do you find the same thing happening to you, Rosanne, where people they're just coming to you?
All the time. I have two groups on Facebook. One is called Earth Angels of Light. And I started that group in October of 2014, near the end of October, with maybe 20 people that I personally knew. Mm-hmm. And we are almost at 4,000 members now.
Oh, holy
and it's not by anything that I'm doing. I know that it's the angels and spirit just bringing people there that are either like-minded or in need of guidance and help. And it's really quite amazing. And that's how Teri and I met. I believe it was when she joined my group and we just started to chat and we connected and I have a beautiful connection with a lot of the men and women that are in that group. It's awesome.
Now, is there mostly women in these groups?
I would say
I mean, because I found, and maybe it's just me, but talking about the things that I talk about all the time, gratitude, love, and things like that, it's bringing more women. The guys, I think guys were maybe more reluctant to talk about those things. You don't see that in your circle?
I have some men that are in the group, there's no question about that, but they're not nearly as active as the women are. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the reasoning is. Sometimes I think it's just religious beliefs. Although my group is not religious, it's not non-denominational, it's just spiritual. Right. And I think they're coming around and beginning to understand, and they're just, reading and watching and observing, and hopefully they will begin to participate in the future. But I would say, yes, I think it is more women in my group than definitely men who are much more active and involved and into you know, meditating and praying and all the things that we do there.
Yeah, I think women are just more nurturing. Women are just more. Well, I mean, you're mothers. You know,
Yeah.
that's what women do. They just have that loving, nurturing thing to them. And for guys, just maybe we didn't grow up with. I mean, I didn't grow up with that stuff at all. Yeah, I was told.
Yeah.
That, you know, it just wasn't something that we did around the house. Say we loved each other.
And it's energy, honestly, Bob. It's energy because, you know, energy is very felt and it goes back and forth. And you may not know me, you've never met me, but we have this connection. And people get drawn to each other's energy.
Right. Yeah. Can you go into a little bit more about the whole energy vibration thing that you talk about?
Well, I mean, we are in this existence as a human being, but long before that, beautiful Holy Spirit. So automatically we have this energetic connection with each other, even if we've never met or known each other in this lifetime in existence. Your vibration is how do I explain this? It's the way that you connect with Source, and the more that you connect, the higher the vibration. I can hear my own vibration. I know some people can, some people cannot. And it's just really, it's just a sign of your connectivity.
Well, let me ask you, even if you took the whole spirituality out of it, the whole religion, anything that has to do with something that's outside of us, or inside of, if you took that away and just the vibration you're sending, and you went outside and you're acting sad or depressed, that's a vibration you're sending to people. You're attracting more of that. So even if you take the whole spirituality out of it,
yes,
the vibration you're sending out to the world is still the same.
It's felt very real.
It is. It's there. It's there. So you're just taking it to another level. You're taking it, grabbing it from a higher source, whether God, the universe, or whatever that is, and just like supercharging it.
For me, it's just a very prevalent part of my day to connect and not just to pray, but really to meditate and connect deeply. And I think that energy is felt by everyone. And the posts that we make in our groups are also. People can, read what we're saying and feel what we're saying. Don't you agree, Teri?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every morning I try to put out positive. I try to find something uplifting, something that they can take and learn a lesson from or relate to in some way that's happening in their life. And I always get those responses. You were speaking to me, or I really needed that today. So yeah, we put out, our positivity or our vibe.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's the actions we take. I'm reading. So some people came in late here. I'm reading this book that Teri wrote called Hugs Love, and they wrote a book together. They authored a book together called Time Heals. I haven't had a chance to read that one yet, but I will. But in this book here, there's a couple of things that I was mentioning beforehand. There's a few things that I wanted to have. I just wanted to mention what Teri talks about, and one of the things she talks about is to go happy hunting. And I just think it's a really cool thing to do. It's about, okay, so, some people focus on being depressed, or they're focusing on like maybe looking at something that's bad, where she just consciously chooses to go happy hunting, which I'm going to look for a reason to be happy, a reason to be grateful, and find people who are happy. I love that term. I never heard that term before. That's a really cool term. You should get the domain.
That's my term. Yeah, and in fact, yesterday, Bob, I went out with some friends, and I did find happy people. Everywhere I went, I found these people that, I don't know if they were connecting with my vibe that I was putting out, or if they were in that space before I even got to them. But, I mean, there were people that were just like dancing, that were, the cashier the grocery store was just like dancing around and just enjoying herself. And I just thought about that later. I thought, is it the vibe that I'm putting out that they're responding to, or is Spirit just leading me to these places where I'm going to come in contact with these happy people on my happy hunting days?
Yeah. And it probably doesn't really matter because it's just happening to you anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What is the Time Heals book, or what is that all about?
That's about the energy healing that I did for you. You call it angel healing. It was the Time Heals session.
That's what it was.
Right.
Okay, that was cool. Okay, I didn't know that. I just thought that was just some angel healing. So
yes,
you do the same sort of a thing then? Do you do the same like healing like Teri does then?
I am. We are both master time healers, and this modality was brought to Teri by Spirit, and then we joined together to write about it, and we've been going around and healing lots of people, and from that, there are other facilitators that have joined in, and they're healing other people, and it just kind of goes on, and we're hoping. We're going to be writing a second part to this book very soon called Time Forgives, and it's all about the forgiveness factor and different things, but it's just a beautiful healing modality. The book speaks about all the archangels, our ascended masters, about the modality itself and the oneness, because we are all part of oneness.
It was really pretty amazing because Teri did a healing on me, and I really didn't know what to expect. I went through with an open mind. I didn't want to get the I didn't want to be skeptical, and I didn't want to like think that something was going to happen that wasn't. That, you know, which I didn't want to have the placebo effect into it. So I laid down, and I was ready for it, and I actually like fell asleep. I think like for about a couple of seconds or a minute. Sometimes you just get like real comfortable, and I felt like I got woken up, and it felt like somebody was massaging my head.
Archangel Mycle.
Well, nobody was here. I couldn't see anybody here, but I absolutely, honestly felt it. And then when she showed me the video of everything she was doing, it was exactly like everything was happening. It went down into my heart, and there was something physically was I felt it in me, and I go, oh my gosh, this was really weird. Well, but it was so wonderful.
The wonderful thing is that we are not, you know, we use this modality to work with and to heal others, but we're not healing. We're just being, you know, the vessel being used to facilitate the healing that comes through from the healers, the angels, so it's wonderful when people can feel it and actually not just while watching the videos that we give to everyone, but just actually feeling it while it's happening. And that's the archangels and the healers and the masters working on everyone. So I think it's awesome that you were connected enough to really feel that, because some people don't.
Okay. Well, I had one. Oh, it was a big echo right there. Is it still echoing? Oh,
yes.
Yeah. If it's still echoing. Because what I can do, I could, if that happens, I could ask a question, then mute myself out, because sometimes you get the two things. I had a lady one other time. She was a spiritual healer, and she was talking to me on the phone. That was in my backyard, and she was sending me all these things, and she kept, do you feel it? Do you feel it? And I felt nothing. So maybe you just have to be open for it, or I don't know. But I definitely felt it when Teri did it, and I was just waiting to see what was going to happen, and it certainly did. So now, do you do a video of it as well when you do your thing like that?
I do. It's a courtesy thing, because we want people to have something to really look at later. Okay. And I have to say, most of the feedback that I've gotten back, and I'm pretty sure with Teri, people actually are feeling and just loving the energy that surrounds them during that. But there are some people, I've come across one person that has had several healings that just, I don't know if that she's not attuned or not really, just not into it or not connecting. You know, her connection may not be that good, and she doesn't feel it, but yet when she watches the video later on, there is benefit there for her. So I really do feel that everyone is absolutely benefiting from it, and it's again, we're just the vessels that are being used. It's not us.
What can healings heal? What can they or what can't they heal? Is there any limitations?
Well, I mean, it's the healers that are doing the work along with the archangels. So, I mean, as we've been told and understood it, there's more than just the physical body. There's the emotional body, the mental body, physical body, spiritual, astral. So they can be healing on any one of those levels and where it's most needed.
I say Tara just typed in. She says you do not need to be open to the experiences to be open to receive.
Correct.
Is that how you feel as well?
Yes.
So could you send it to like a healing to somebody and they don't even know it?
Well, I mean, with Time Heals, we really ask for their permission to connect with their higher self. So while we can try to send some healing energy, we really, because it's interactive. Time means theocentric, interactive, magnetic energy. So because it's interactive and they're participating, we really do connect with their higher self and ask for their permission to do so. But I mean, yes, if someone is ill or having a problem, we can send some healing energy out, sure.
I read a book years ago, The Power of Positive Thinking. I think it was Dr. Norman Vincent.
Yeah.
He was just like totally just a very spiritual or Christian guy. But he would say what he would do. He would be like on a bus or something, and he would send prayers to people. He would just shoot prayers at people. And he said he would actually see them sometime, and so they were sending energy to people.
Oh yeah.
But that was so cool. That was like, I think, one of my first like spiritual book. Years ago, read that thing.
One of my mentors. I loved him. Very old school, very old time though, but many years ago, and he's gone a long time now. But he was wonderful.
He was wonderful, yeah. Just sending love and energy, and God's love and energy to people, and just boom. And he said he could actually physically see people sometime like moving up in their chair.
It's pretty cool. You can. We can send energy to anyone, and just with your thoughts, just with your intentions.
Well, I do a lot of prayer requests. For many years, I've been on Facebook, and I run a stroke support. I had a stroke support community, and a lot of times people need prayers, and so we'll pray for them. We'll just get it out there, and it always seems to work. I mean, I can't say it's going to work 100% of the time, but I know if you have 100 people saying prayers for you, whether it's prayers or it's positive intentions, you feel good about that. Even if it doesn't work, I always think one thing. I never seen prayers hurt anybody.
No, exactly. And in my group, we do a weekly prayer meeting and energy healing, and sometimes we can have 40 or 50 people participating, where everyone will pray for the group members and their list of family members that they may have listed. So there's always prayer meetings going on, and at the same time there are Reiki healers and time healers who are present, sending healing energy in as much as we can to everyone that's there and on the list of prayers. It's awesome.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You just walk away from that feeling like you've really accomplished something and trying to help others.
Now, how does one become a Reiki healer, and what exactly is Reiki healing?
Well, Reiki is that me echoing? I'm not sure. Okay. Reiki is a Japanese healing modality that goes back a very long time, and there are Reiki masters, such as myself, where people can possibly receive an inner calling that they want to learn this modality, and they contact a Reiki master, and they're attuned to the energies. Just like in Time Heals, we would attune them to the energies if they wanted to teach it, if they wanted to become a master healer as well.
Is it easier? Is it better if am I still muted?
No.
Okay, I have myself muted. Is it better, or is it more powerful to have if you could do it in person, or does it matter if you just do it like remotely, like the way Teri did it to me?
95 or 90% of the healings that I do are remote. There are distant healings. I think with Time Heals, when you're physically doing it hands-on, it's a bit more powerful, and I think that Time Heals is a little stronger than even the Reiki energy that goes out. But maybe I'm just biased.
Yeah, I found that as well, and I've also found if you're doing it live that it is more powerful.
Right.
And and I've actually had an experience where somebody couldn't handle the energy because it was that powerful, and they're just going stop, and so I of course had to stop. But yeah, it's a very powerful energy that comes through because you have 4 of the ascended masters that are behind us in doing this, and then there's a nucleus of even more. So you have at least 4 of these powerful spirits that are pushing this energy into this person that's being healed. So yeah, it's extremely powerful.
Yes.
That is real cool. How does one, like, if somebody's like sitting here on the sideline, that's really cool. I want to do that. How would somebody find how they could do something like what you're doing if they wanted to get into it? Or is
They
it
can
a
be
gift?
trained. Yeah, they can be trained by either Rosanne or myself. Both of us can train in doing the time healing. Both of us can offer the time healing sessions, as well as other healers. I mean, there's a bunch of us trained now in
Yes.
doing this.
Are some people born with more of this, and just have it? Are people born with that talent, or is it, like you said, is something you can be trained and picked up?
We're all healers naturally, just because of our connection in spirit. It's just that some people get the calling later on in life, once they're more connected and at peace, where they feel that they want to be a healer and they want to help. But we all have the same innate abilities and connection.
Just that certain people work at it more. Just, is that what it is? Just practice it.
I think it's a matter of your own connectivity, how deeply you meditate and pray and are just connected to Source. Some people are not spiritual at all, and then suddenly wake up and become connected, and then they get this calling or this yearning to do different things, and that's a lot of what I've seen happening myself in maybe the past year or so. But as far as ability, we all have the same capabilities, every one of us. Whether you're Teresa Caputo, the Long Island medium, or, obviously the more you do it, the more practice at it, the stronger your abilities will become. But definitely we have the same abilities available to each of us.
Like certain people, just say physically, just look like somebody, like, let's use a basketball player for an example. Maybe somebody who's just tall, basically, and they just have, some people have just some physical ability. Other people are more klutzy. They're just not quite physically as capable as other people. Does that happen in the same thing that you're dealing with? Or certain people just have more ability to tune in? Because even a klutzy person can play basketball, he can learn how to play, but he's never going to be able to slam dunk and do some of the things that some of the other people can do. So is that come into play, that certain people maybe won't ever get there, or are just some people are going to be superstars in this modality?
In my opinion on that is that it's really their choice as to how far they connect, because they have the ability to connect, and what they do with that is individualized and up to them, whether they spend 5 minutes a week or 5 hours a day. I'm really not sure how else to answer that. That's just how I see it.
So they're not limited. Like you might be physically, like if you're 4'7", you're not going to slam dunk a 10-foot basket.
Exactly.
You're not limited. You can get there if you put the time in.
Exactly. I believe that.
I do too. It's our connection, and not being resistant to what we are and who we are as spirit. Once we're in touch with that, it's unlimited, the power that we have as far as healing, teaching, just knowing what we are and sharing that with others and sharing it for the benefit of everybody. That's the whole purpose of it.
Exactly.
How important is meditation in this whole process?
Very,
Very important.
And that's when you tap in, or let's hear what you both had to say about that, just about the importance of meditating.
Well, that's where the connection really comes in, because there's an old saying that when you pray, you get to speak to God and talk about the things that you have in your life or that you want and that type of thing. But when you meditate, you're actually listening and receiving the guidance, whether it's in your physical ears or whether it's just a feeling or a thought. So to tap in a meditative state, I think is so valuable, because that's really where the connection is. That's when we're at our maybe most open to receive whatever the message may be.
Is there a certain time that was better for meditating, like at early morning, or does it matter, depending upon the person?
I think it depends upon the person. Early morning is really good for me, and that's when I get, I think, a better connection. But it doesn't really matter when you do it. The important thing is to do it and to really put your thoughts aside. And I use a little trick. I set them on a cloud and send them away for a while. So I'll get back to you later, and just totally have that stillness that Eckhart Tolle talks about, you know, just stilling the mind, stilling everything, your day, putting it all aside so that you can actually spend that time on yourself with spirit, because that is so important.
Let me ask you a question about ego. A lot of people are always talking about we need to separate ourselves from our ego. What's your take on that? Can we separate ourselves from the ego? Is it possible?
I don't think it's completely possible in human form because, you know, obviously the ego mind exists. Once we return back home and we're pure spirit, that's not going to exist anymore. So we have days where we are wonderful and feeling lifted and we're very connected, and then something happens and it kind of brings us down. And the ego, as you know, means edging God out. So when you allow yourself to become frustrated or hurt or angry, and we all have experienced this, even at the most high times, you know, you can get a phone call and something will bring you down. It's, I think, something that we live with and deal with every single day as a human being.
Life happens, doesn't it?
Life happens.
Weeds are going to come into the garden. You know, you can have the nicest garden in the world. They're still going to come in. You can take them out, but they're still going to come in from time to time.
Exactly. It would be nice if everyone was on the same energetic level, but we're not. But that's why some of us are here, so that we can help and guide and, you know, maybe move them along on their path as well.
Right, because there's certain things we have to do physically. Like I'm sitting here right now, I'm drinking my greens and my reds. This is 11 pounds of superfood right here. So it's just, I mean, I could be drinking, you know, like a sugary mix or something like that. I mean, it's just like what Teri mentioned in her book, Hugs Love. If something's going against you, whatever, no matter what it is, she used the term to pivot, like just stop where you're going, like stop doing the bad things and start doing the good things. So just turn around and start in the other direction.
It's a conscious, it's a conscious thing, you know, and the more that you're aware that you're getting into negative, or you're allowing yourself to be affected by negative, and you start pivoting away from that and looking for that happy thought, go happy hunting, then the more you're going to do that. Right. You know, it's like with any learned habit. You know, the more you do it, like they say, what is it, 7 times of doing something, and then automatically you just kick into that mode of doing it. So the more you start pivoting, the easier it is when you reach those situations to pivot away from it.
And how important do you think are the words that we say to ourselves, the questions we say, like people say, like, react instead, or like respond instead of react, just words or questions, empowering questions, like why am I getting so fat? Why do things always happen to me that are, those kind of questions? How important is to use empowering questions and words to you? How important is that to you?
It's very important. I think you're familiar with the law of attraction. What we put out comes back to us. So if you're constantly putting yourself down, telling yourself, you know, you're fat, you're a loser, you know, you're never going to be anything, then the universe is going to respond to that. So it's very important to, when you talk to yourself, to tell yourself those positive, uplifting things. I am worthy. I am worthy of every great and wonderful thing there is. You know, I deserve that. And tell yourself, I am beautiful. You know, no matter what your physical body looks like, your spirit is beautiful.
That's right.
And we need to hear that.
And if I may add to that, I have found that it's not just the words that you speak to yourself, it's your thoughts, it's your deeds, because you can sit there and list off, speak about a whole I am affirmation list, if you will, of the things that you've written for yourself. I am beautiful, I am enough, whatever it may be. But the minute you put that down and you stop that mantra, if your thoughts go back to, you're just this or that, it's not going to really quite work. So it's really your thoughts, your words, and your actions that surround that.
So how do people get away from it? If people are stuck in that, because I know people that are stuck in that modality where they're just like they just don't think that they can, and the words that they're always talking about being sick, things always come. How can they get out of that?
it's really the self-talk that is part of the problem. Obviously, they may have true, real health issues. I mean, Teri has had her own. I have. You have. But it's really the self-talk and removing the ego minds out of the way and saying, no, darn it, I'm not this. I am all of this, and starting to work and connect would be my response to that. Because it's very easy to sit in the negative and to sit in the dark and just say, well, this is my life, woe is me, and, you know, whatever comes my way is what I'm supposed to get, and it's not the case.
How do you tell somebody without sounding like you're being like super like overly positive? Because I've been accused of that too, or saying, well, I'm not Mr. Positive like you are, you know. So it's like you don't understand my problem. So how can you say it with being sensitive and helping that they get that message?
For me, as gently as I can. I mean, I'm not sitting here as a perfect human being. I've had my flaws and my mistakes and my illnesses. I had a brain tumor at the age of 12.
Wow.
That fortunately was removed, but there was a lot to overcome with that. I lost my pituitary gland, which, as you know, is the master gland. So, I mean, I've had my own ups and downs and experiences, so I'm not sitting here on a pedestal or trying to be someone who's perfectly connected. I speak from experience, I speak from my heart, and hopefully the energy carries that through so that they have some sort of understanding of who they really are, aside from that physical being. And how to connect to it.
Wow, so that's pretty amazing. A brain tumor at 12 years old, holy mackerel.
Yeah, 1967, and this is a whole other story probably for a whole other time, but back then medicine was not so advanced, and we were very blessed to be guided to the right neurosurgeons, and the choices that were put before my parents were, well, either you try the surgery and hope it's successful, because we're not sure, or you don't try and she's going to die. So either way, this is what you have. And
did it change your personality at that point?
Oh, I was just a young, scared little girl. I didn't really understand what was going on, but I was always spiritual. I remember being very deeply spiritual from a very young age, but I was frightened. I didn't understand all of it, and there was a lot that was not told to me at that time, because I was a kid.
Right. That's really something. I knew a fellow in high school. He had a brain tumor because he dove into a swimming pool and he hurt his head and he had an operation, and it totally changed his personality. He became weird. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't have any symptoms. The interesting thing is that they determined later that I was a faucet baby, and somehow I must have gotten hit in the head as I was exiting the womb, and I did have a little bump, I was told, on my head as an infant for maybe a week or two that just went away. So there was never any thought that anything was wrong, and it was at around the age of 12 that I realized I had complete blindness in my right eye and I could not see.
Wow.
And I'm still blind in my right eye. I've lived all these years with sight from my one eye, my left eye. I have some peripheral vision in the right eye, but it's like 20/250. It's very blurry.
Wow.
Some of it did come back just a little bit after they removed the tumor, though. So the only symptoms that I had was just that I just couldn't see. I had no sensitivity to light. I didn't have any personality changes or anything like that. Nobody knew. It was just there, and it was like the size of an egg by the time they got it out.
Wow. Yeah, we don't know what other people are going through in life, do we?
Exactly.
Like as Teri just said, because of your experience, it has helped to evolve to the beautiful healer that you are.
I think so. I mean, it was definitely part of the path for me, and to come out of that and just be so thankful and gracious and wanting to be guided, but also to help others. I mean, that's profound for me. I know that there's definitely more for me to do here. If not, I would be back home.
That's amazing. Well, ladies, we are out of time right now. So how can people what's the best way for them to get in touch with you? And I will put, when this video comes up, I will put all your information inside of the video so people can do this. So tell everybody now what's the best way. Start off with you, Rosanne. What's the best way people can get a hold of you?
Well, I have a group on Facebook, which is Earth Angels of Light, they can connect that way. I also have a website, www.angelicinsightswithrosanne.com. Or on Facebook, I'm known as Rosanne Lombardo Heaton. They can connect there as well.
Angelic Insights with Rosanne?
Angelic Insights with Rosanne.com.
That works. See if it pops up. Yep, I think that worked. That's cool. Okay, and Teri, the best way they can get a hold of you?
I also have a website called Angel Speakers. I have a Facebook group called Angel Speakers that I know a lot of the people in the chat room have joined, and so glad to see them on there because it's full of positive stuff. And email me, Teri@angelspeakers.com.
Awesome. I will put all the information inside of the video when it comes out. Now, so you did say you will come back in April, both of you ladies.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. What a pleasure.
And now you guys also have a blog talk radio as well that people can go to it and check on that. They can listen to you some other.
Teri does.
Yes, I have. It's Angel Speakers Blog Talk Radio, and in fact, we have one tonight at 10 o'clock. We'll be talking about the importance of balance in our life. So I'm hoping that you all will join us. We have a special guest that will be there with us tonight. And Bob, you know this person. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but join in and see who she is.
Can you mention who the person is? Because they might know her as well.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Okay, it's Debbie. Debbie's going to join us tonight on the show.
Debbie Garcia.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, because most of the people here on the side, they know that. So that's pretty cool. So that will be 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern time.
10 o'clock Eastern, yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So go to what's the domain for that one?
It's Angel Speakers Blog Talk Radio.
That's a www or.
Yeah. Let me see if I can just grab the link real quick, and I'll put it on there.
AngelSpeakers.com Blog Talk Radio.
I got it. I'm posting it now.
Okay.
There you go.
Cool. There it is. Awesome.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there that we would have never guessed.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely listen in tonight.
Yeah, listen in tonight. It'll be fun.
Okay, fun. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much for coming. Thank everybody for coming here today. Tomorrow we have the passionate, purposeful, powerful, patient Pastor P. Priscilla McMillan on our show tomorrow. So make sure if you get a chance, come in and check that out tomorrow. Priscilla, she will make the hair on my arms stand up. She always does it. She's so passionate. So thank you so much, ladies. I really appreciate it. I honor everything that you're doing.
Thank you, Bob. Have a great day.
Namaste, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.